Good day guys and welcome to this channel. In this video I'll be showing you how VLANs work, how switchports works, and how trunking can allow VLAN traffic between switches. But before we start this lab, I will briefly explain some of the concepts that we cover in this lab. The first concept I want to explain is a VLAN. What is a VLAN? A VLAN is a logical separation inside a switch. Okay, it is a process of separating or splitting networks in a switch. In other words, we are saying that in a single physical switch, VLAN can help us to create multiple networks in that switch. Or you can also think of it like rooms in a building, okay, where people in the same room can talk directly, while people in different rooms will need a door or a receptionist to make communication possible. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is a broadcast domain. For us to understand what a broadcast domain is, we need to understand what a broadcast is first. A broadcast is simply a message sent to everyone in the network. Okay? So when a device in a network sends a message, the switch forwards it, and all the devices in this network receive it. Okay? Now, the process is actually what we know as broadcasting. Where this broadcasting takes place is the domain. So the network that hosts all these devices is actually the domain. So in other words, broadcast domain is where information or communication rather is where communication between computers take place. The next thing we want to know or understand is a trunk. What does it do? A trunk actually carries traffic for multiple VLANs. So for instance, let's say we have 3 or 4 VLANs on a switch and the same number of VLANs on another switch. So computers that are connected to all of these VLANs want to make communication to computers connected to the other VLANs. So how will that happen? That is where trunking comes in. So trunking is what makes communication possible over a single link between switches. So we have different computers in different VLANs, and all these computers want to talk to each other. Trunking is what makes that happen. So it kind of how we make communication happen between multiple VLANs. And the last concept I want to cover is VLAN tagging. Okay, VLAN tagging is the process of adding VLAN or VLAN information to network traffic so that switches know which VLAN the traffic belongs. So this is actually a way of identifying by a switch where communication is coming from in a VLAN. So we are going to see this practically in the lab. Now let's go into the lab. In this lab, we have 3 VLANs that we have already designed. VLAN 10 for students, VLAN 20 for teachers, VLAN 30 for IT. And we have 2 physical switches, and we have 3 different VLANs on this on each of these switches we have 3 VLANs. Okay, on each of these switches we have 3 VLANs. So on switch 1 we have 3 VLAN, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. On switch 2 we have VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. So in each VLAN we have 2 devices, 2 computers. So the next thing we want to do now, based on the steps we have here, the first step is already completed. We have connected computers to switches. The next thing is to configure VLANs on switch 1 and switch 2. Now let's go and do that. First of all, we need to connect these computers to our switch using a link. So the link I will use here is Cooper straight through. All right, just configure it this way. Here we use this. I want to use Ethernet by 1 for the switches. Let's just do this quickly. So what I'm basically doing is connecting the computers that we have in this lab to the switch that we have. Okay, we are going to use this. Going to use this. Okay, let me just use this. Okay. All right. So as you can see, all the links are turned green. They are successfully connected. Now, the next thing to do is to configure VLANs on switch 1. So you just click on this switch, go to the CLI. The command to enter the privilege mode is ENA, enable, and then we can just enter config T to enter the global configuration mode, config T. So to configure VLAN, you just enter the command VLAN and then the VLAN you want to connect, you want to configure. Let's say VLAN 10 in this case. And then the next thing to do is to enter name and then VLAN 10. The name for VLAN 10 is student. Okay, good. Now let's configure the next VLAN. Let's exit this. Next VLAN is VLAN 20 and then name of VLAN 20 is teachers. Okay, exit. And then let's configure the third VLAN 30. Name for it is IT. Good. Now we are done with this configuring. We are done with configuring VLANs on switch 1. Let us see our configuration so far. We can just do show VLAN brief. That's a command to show the configuration. So we can see that already we have VLAN 1 as a default VLAN on the switch. So now we have just configured 3 VLANs. VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30 for students, for teachers, and for IT. Now, the next thing is to, let's just go do the same. Okay? Let's go do the same for switch 2. CLI. Alright, first of all, I just forgot to save the configuration here. Let's go and save the configuration on switch 1 by writing the right command. So it's already get the configuration saved. Now let's move to switch 2 and do the same. On the CLI, to enter the privilege mode, enable, to enter the configuration, global configuration mode, that's config T, right? Then we enter the VLANs and the VLAN name, VLAN 10, by name we have student, exits. Now VLAN 20, by name we have teachers. Oh, sorry, something is wrong. Oh, sorry. Name. Okay, teachers, exits. VLAN 30, by name we have IT. Alright, good. Exit again. Okay, let us just see the configuration by typing the command do show VLAN brief. So again, we have all these VLANs configured on the second switch. Good. Now let's save the configuration. Exit. Right. The right command is used to save configurations. Now good. We are good. We have just successfully configured VLANs on switch 1 and on switch 2. Alright. The next thing to do, let's go back to our step, is to configure access ports on both switches. Alright, so let's go and get that done. Now, for us to configure access port on those switches, we click on the terminal, but let us see the port Vlan is connected to switch 1 by ports FA1 by 1, V20, Vlan 20 is connected via 2 by 1, Vlan 30 is connected via 3 by 1. Okay, so that's what we want to do now. Alright. Config 2. Alright, we enter configure global configuration mode again to start the configuration. Now, the command we want to enter now, first of all, let us take a look at all the interfaces that we have. Okay, so we can do show IP interface brief. So we have 1, 2, 3. All right. So we are going to enter the interface one by one and assign it to the first VLAN, that is VLAN 10. So we are saying that interface F 1 by 1. The command now to configure the switch port is switchport mode access. Alright, switchport access the VLAN 10. Good. See, it's already getting connected. Alright, so we are configuring port F by 1, okay, fast Ethernet 1 by 1 on VLAN 10. Now let's go back again. Exit interface F2 by 1. So we want to configure this port F2 by 1 on VLAN 20. That's the next thing we want to do. And that will be F2 by 1 and then our switchports mode access, and then switchports access, then the name of the VLAN 20. Good. You can see VLAN that is ports. Allow it to show. Now port 2 by 1 is being configured on VLAN 20. Now let's configure 3 by 1 fast Ethernet 3 by 1 on VLAN 30. Now let's go and do that. Let's exit this. Okay, interface fast Ethernet 3 by 1. Okay, and the next thing is switchports mode access, and then switchports access, then the name of the VLAN 30. Good. So we are done configuring switch ports on the 3 VLANs, VLAN 10, 20, and 30 that we have created on switch 1. Now let's go and do the same okay, let us just see the configurations that we have done so far. Exit, do show, that's the command we used to see it. Do show interfaces trunk. Oh, something is wrong. show interfaces. Right. So actually the command to enter is show Vlan brief. And so we have this. So we can see that port F1 by 1 is configured on VLAN 10, F2 by 1 is configured on VLAN 20, and port this is configured on VLAN 30. Now let's go do that the same thing on switch 2 or the second switch. Let's go and do that. Okay, we want to assign ports to the VLANs that we have created on switch 2. So what we do is to enter the config. Okay, now interface. Let's just check it. For this we have 3 by 1, 2 by 1, 1 by 1. Alright, so for VLAN 10 we enter the interface 3 by 1, interface 3 by 1, and then switch ports mode access, switch ports access VLAN 10, access VLAN 10, wait, what is wrong? Switch ports access something is missing. Okay, VLAN 10. Okay, good. Exit. Now let's configure port on VLAN 20 also. So for VLAN 20 we're going to configure 2 by 1, and that will be interface of 2 by 1 and switch ports access, switch ports mode access. Alright, then switch ports access, and the name of the VLAN 20. Good. Now exit. Let's go to the third VLAN interface. A 1 by 1, and then switch ports mode access. Switch ports access. What VLAN now? VLAN 30, right? That's what we have here. VLAN 30. Yes. Enter. Now let us see all the configurations we've done on VLAN on switch 2, right? By entering the command show VLAN, do show VLAN brief. Alright, so on the second switch for student VLAN, that is VLAN 10, we have 3 by 1. For VLAN 20 we have ports 2 by 1. For VLAN 30, the IT department VLAN, we have 1 by 1. Good. Now let's see if we can ping between this network. So computer 1 and computer 2 are on the same network. Let's see if we can ping between them. But first we need to assign IP address to each of them. That might take some time. Let's just quickly do that. Okay, by going to IP address, here we have 192.168.10.10, and then we have a subnet mask of 12i.12i.12i.0. Alright, good. We are done with that. Now let's do this. Okay. By going to ipconfig 192. What's that list? 192.168.10.15, and then we have the subnet mask of this. Alright, so let's see if we can actually ping between these computers, this computer and this computer, since they are on the same network. Can you see 192.192.10, 192.168.10, 192.168.10, the same network? So let's see if we can ping between them. Come to command prompt, enter the command, the ping command, ping. Want to ping to this computer, so that would be 192.168.10.15. Let's see. Pinging. So you see request timeout. Now, why is the request being timed out? That is because there is no link between the two switches that connect these two devices on different network. Alright, although computer 1 is in the same network with computer 2, but since they are on different switch, communication cannot take place unless we configure what is known as trunk port, and that is what I was trying to explain in my introduction. Now, for us to achieve this, let us connect these two switches together via a link. So I will use this link to connect the two switch. Alright, and then I will configure the trunk protocol on these two on this link that connect these two switches. Now, how to do that is I'll just click on this switch 1 and go back to the global configuration mode, config T. Okay, I need to enter the interface now. What is the interface here? Let me just close this. So this is F0 by 1. Good. Let's go back. So F0 by 1. So I'll do interface 0 by 1, and then I will do switch. This is a command we will use to configure the trunk. Switch ports mode trunk. Good. Now let us check the configuration this way by entering let me just do exit, and then I will do show interfaces trunk. Good. So we can see that on the first switch, okay, this port is connected, and this is the protocol 802.1q trunking status trunking, and on the native Vlan. Alright, now let's do the same on second switch. Alright, the interface again is interface 0 by 1. The command is switchport mode trunk. Let's go. So let's check again. Exits. Let's check it. Do show interfaces trunk. So let's see. Okay, again we have the same thing. Now let's try the ping again and see if it's going to work. Let's go back again to this computer. Command prompt. Let's enter the ping again and see if it's going to work. So you can see that these computers are connected. These two computers in the same network. Okay, now they are connected, and we can, send information between the two. They can actually talk within each other. They can talk with each other. Alright, this is where we are going to end this video. It's already too long. Please, um, if there is any comments, if there is anything you think I should add, I'm still building my knowledge in networking, and I will appreciate a constructive comment in the section below. Thank you very much. If you like this channel, please support me as I'm building myself. Give me a thumbs up, like, and comment. God bless you, and see you in the next video. Bye.